Choosing an aspect ratio can be incredibly tricky because there are just so many options. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the different aspect ratios you can use, when to use them, and what values to input into your editing software in order to achieve your desired aspect ratio. So let's start off with the most basic aspect ratio, which is 16:9. Your camera's default settings will be shooting in an aspect ratio of 16:9. Currently 16:9 is the normal aspect ratio to use, and if you want to edit in 16:9, you're going to have to use these values for 1080p and these values for 4K. Now let's go a little bit wider to an aspect ratio of 18:9. At the moment, 18:9 is becoming a trend because many smartphone screens and computer monitors are becoming wider and wider, and hence 18:9 just fills up more of the screen, making it better and easier to watch on YouTube. 18:9 also gives you a very nice 2:1 ratio, which I find works really well for YouTube. If you'd like to edit in 18:9, here are the values for 1080p and here are the values for 4K. I will make sure to put every single value on my right hand side for each and every aspect ratio, as well as put them down in the description below. Next up, we're going to go even wider to an aspect ratio of 2.35:1. You've probably seen this aspect ratio before if you've watched any sort of travel video or cinematic video where people overlay black bars onto their clips. Using an aspect ratio of 2.35:1 tends to give your video a slightly more cinematic feel. Whenever I'm editing a cinematic video, I edit it in 2.35:1 because it allows me to move around my clip in order to create extra camera movement in my shot, making my shot just that little bit more interesting. If you want to shoot in a 2.35:1 aspect ratio, you're going to need to use these values for 1080p and these values for 4K. Next up is an aspect ratio of 4:3. This aspect ratio tends to give your videos a nostalgic or vintage feel because this is the aspect ratio that older film cameras used to use. Using a creative aspect ratio like 4:3 or 1:1 allows your videos to stand out from the rest of the people on YouTube and ends up making your videos slightly more unique. If you'd like to edit in a 4:3 aspect ratio, here are the values for 1080p and the values for 4K. Let's switch it up a bit and talk about the 4:5 aspect ratio, which is currently very popular on Instagram for both photos and videos. The reason it's so popular is because it makes use of all the space that Instagram gives you for your post, meaning that the photo or video will take up as much space as possible on your followers' feed. The values for editing in 4:5 will be on my right hand side. Next, let's talk about an even more cropped in aspect ratio, which is 9:16. It's quite popular amongst people who make Instagram stories, TikToks, and post to IGTV. If you want to edit and shoot in 9:16, the values will be up on my right hand side. Whenever you're shooting in a 4:5 aspect ratio or a 9:16 aspect ratio, make sure that you're shooting with your camera in a portrait orientation, because otherwise you're going to end up losing a lot of information on the sides of your video. So rather shoot portrait so that you don't have to crop in a ton in order to make it 9:16 or 4:5. Most importantly, for every single aspect ratio, make sure that you're not using black bars. Rather change the sequence settings in your editing software to match that of your desired aspect ratio. I hope you learned something new in today's video, and I hope I helped you to possibly answer some of your questions about aspect ratios. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to show your support by dropping a like down below, possibly even hitting subscribe for some brand new content twice a week, and you can also leave a comment down below. I love reading your comments whenever I upload a new video. If you have any questions regarding aspect ratios or you'd like to put in a video request, please drop them down in the comments below and I'll make sure to get to them. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you next time.